The limit is only in our mind.
And I said, I'm not leaving this room until I make $100,000.
All of that's possible, especially today, with a cell phone and a laptop.
Okay, we could cut this out.
Yeah, we'll cut it out. Really?
No way.
Really? That's the guy that scammed me. That's the guy that scammed me. This is the biggest thing. You never know when you're gonna come across opportunity.
Yeah. I know, fuck this guy.
Frustrating me now.
I know.
Digital real estate, fam.
Zillow for sale by owner, that's how I got started. It just made me more resilient. Getting deals from Zillow is nothing. $20K a month easily every month from Zillow.
What separates you from the guy that tries for sale by owner and it doesn't work for him?
Really, the competition is just a bunch of amateurs.
Was me sleeping on the floor for 8 months. Didn't know shit about real estate. Was paying mentors, paying coaches, paying with time, paying with energy, paying with dollars. You might be going through something right now where you feel stuck. You must pay the price to build a great life and a great business. Seeing you guys win when odds were against you. You were building a team, then there was turbulence with the team, but you and Ian kept going, bro. And I feel like that's why you guys continue to win. And the people that continue to win are the people that keep going. You're supposed to go through the bullshit. Just like me, people see the 6-figure month, but you don't see me sleeping on an air mattress with a shirt over my pillow for 8 months prior to that. Dude, expect to get your teeth kicked in. Expect to go months without getting paid and expect to feel like you're driving yourself nuts. If you don't have any scars, you don't have any stories. What would you say was one of the biggest things that helped you this last year that is gonna help you make a mill this year?
So when I moved in with my 2 acquisition managers, all that turbulence that was there, having those failures, you have to know what is expected of you to make whatever goal you want to hit, and then what's expected of the other people in your team, and then how to manage that team. And any little bit of weakness that they could sniff out, they're gonna test you.
When did that moment click when you were like, damn, nobody's coming to save me and I have to make it out on my own?
I had just turned 24 in jail at the time, and that's when I was like, I gotta change. Those are the moments that make you into a great leader and a great man. If that never happened to me, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
For all my gentlemen out there, if you're watching Love Island with your girl and you're not making 6 figures a month, cut that shit out, bro. You don't need that in your life, I promise you.
Your life is over. This is it. How am I gonna get back from this? That was the fuel and ammunition that I needed to level the fuck up.
And when they realize that nobody's coming to save them, and if they don't get themselves out of their situation, you're screwed forever. Envision a bigger and better life, you might just get there. What's up, family? I got my boy Isaiah in the house, one of the biggest wholesalers here in Arizona and in the country.
Yes, sir, that's right. No cap.
No cap. So, bro, I wanted to actually get you on here because I wanted to pick your brain on the journey you've been on. I just jumped into digital real estate about a year ago and it completely changed my life, but you've been doing it. I've seen you go from the videos that you've had where you're starting from the bottom and then changing your whole identity and your whole life through digital real estate. How'd you even get into it?
I first got into wholesale real estate. So yeah, I started like from nothing. I just got out of jail and I was just looking for a way to make money legally. Like for the longest time, you know, I'd always known how to make money, not even a lot of money, but just everything illegal. So when I first tried to start how to make money, I started drop shipping. I did that for a little bit. I sold like 2 or 3 products. Didn't really profit at all, but over time I was just like, this is not what I want to do. And so it was really some kid on Instagram had sold me a course on wholesale real estate. I didn't know what it was, but I was just like, sure, I'm looking for new ways to make money and I don't want to be at a 9-to-5 anymore. So it was like $350. Paid him, he showed me the business model. I'm like, okay, cool. He was actually showed me how to do it from Zillow, actually, it's crazy. And yeah, when I had my first cold call, a flip had been switched in my head and like a light bulb went off and I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Not necessarily wholesale real estate, but sales over the phone. Like when I first had that first cold call, something clicked and I was like, this is what I'm doing for the rest of my life. And yeah, he actually ended up scamming me, right? He showed me the business model, but he wasn't a very good teacher. But still, I'm very grateful for that guy. His name's like Tyler something, I forgot. But yeah, I found out about it through some kid's course. And then from there, I just like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life is get good at sales. So that's how it started.
Yeah, you and I kind of both come from a sales background. I started in the solar industry, was doing it for 5 years, door to door. Then I started to come across people like you, a lot of the mentors that you and I have on social media. And I was like, let me try this digital real estate thing out. Some people call it wholesale. And the biggest door that opened up for me was paying to play. The only way you're gonna get good is finding the right mentors and paying them. They don't want you to take them out for coffee. What they want is they want to give you game, but you got to pay to play. And the way I ended up in Arizona was I paid a mentor 16 grand. He ended up scamming me too. But paid him 16 grand, then moved over here, kind of started to pick his brain a little bit. We partnered up on some deals. It didn't go that well. May God bless him. But it kind of opened up a door where it kind of put me in a position where I had to survive. And then fast forward, I had just this last December, when people's slowest month comes around, I had my biggest month. Cracked the first 6-figure month, locked up 11 contracts, and it just kind of showed me that, dude, the limit is only in our mind. The whole point of this message is to kind of show you that when you jump into a new industry, or maybe you're already in wholesale and you're not getting the results that you want, it's your fault. The only limit is you. You are the reason you're either at your goals or you're not at your goals. And connecting with Isaiah and his partner, Ian, they kind of blew my mind, because when I first met them, they barely spend any marketing dollars, but they get damn near an infinite return. If you want to touch on that FSBO, for sale by owner,
for sure,
strategy.
For sure. Zillow for sale by owner, that's how I got started. And because I started out with no money, like I said, I came straight out of jail and I didn't have any money to invest. And that was the first way that was shown to me. And I started out in Louisiana with it, which is a non-disclosure state. So you can't really see what comps sold for and all that. But all of those difficulties, starting out with Zillow for sale by owner only and having in a non-disclosure state, it just made me more resilient. And now, you know, getting deals from Zillow is nothing. I do novations with Zillow listings too. And yeah, dude, 20K a month easily every month from Zillow alone. That's without spending any marketing dollars.
What separates you from the guy that tries for sale by owner and it doesn't work for him?
A lot of people can't handle Zillow for sale by owner because they think that there's so much competition, but the competition is always going to be there. And really the competition is just a bunch of amateurs. And then they say things like, why would I get it under contract? The buyer's just going to see it listed on Zillow. You know, really it's just a limiting mindset. So what separates me is, like, I already been through all that and it's nothing to me and it doesn't faze me, and I know how to work around it because that's where I started. I know how to put certain leverage points at certain points to where I get deals from Zillow, right? I know the right things to say. I know how to talk to them. I know when to talk to them. I know what leads are the best leads to talk to. And so just having no money and starting out with that is really what made me resilient to be able to do that. Resiliency is like the number one thing. And two, you just got to be consistent, dude. I mean, if you're consistent with any other marketing channel, Zillow for sale by owner is the same thing, except you don't spend any dollars, any marketing dollars. So just being consistent with it, and yeah, not having any other option is kind of what forced me to make it work, because I wasn't not going to make it work. I had to make it work.
And that's the biggest thing, is like a lot of people see the social media. When we had our first 6-figure month in December, people were like, oh dude, good job. But the video prior to that was me sleeping on the floor for 8 months, moving to a brand new state, didn't know shit about real estate, didn't know anything about digital real estate. And I had to throw myself literally into the fire, was paying mentors, paying coaches, paying with time, paying with energy, paying with dollars. And I still didn't see any results. And it took, fast forward 8 months, then you start to see the fruits of your labor. But I say that to say this: you might be going through something right now where you feel stuck, or maybe you're thriving right now. But the whole point of this journey called life in this game is there's ebbs and flows. You might be the king of the mountain right now, but winter's coming. And you might be in winter right now, but summer's right around the corner. So you got to have a delusional amount of belief. And I was at Impact Church this morning. Shout out Pastor Travis Hearn. And one of the biggest things he said was, you must pay the price to build a great life and a great business. Whether that's monetarily, whether that's with your time, with your energy, you have to pay the price. If you don't pay, you're not going to play. And I think that's kind of what opened up my eyes this year, being at you and Ian's house, was seeing you guys win when odds were against you. You were building a team. Then there was turbulence with the team. We were trying to work together. We were trying to map out different things, but you and Ian kept going, bro. And I feel like that's why you guys continue to win. And the people that continue to win are the people that keep going.
Yeah, I feel like a big part of that is I did have proof of concept, but I was just as delusional in the beginning as I am today. If anything, I'm more delusional. I mean, to most people, they would call it delusion. But yeah, when we were going through that season of turbulence with the team and everything, it never fazed me, ever. Because I know what it takes to be successful in wholesale real estate. Now, I haven't made $1 million yet, and that's a whole nother thing that I'm going through this year to make $1 million. But all of that, bro, during all those times of turbulence, when everybody else was getting doubtful, I never doubted for 1 second because I knew what it takes. I still know what it takes, and I knew that I was gonna do what it takes. So being delusional is crucial in the beginning, but now it's just not delusion to me. It's just an obsession, I guess. I know what's gonna happen if I do this amount of work.
And it always comes, like what you plant will grow. It might take you many months, it might take you many years, but eventually the fruits do grow. And another thing that my pastor was talking about today was people want the miracle, but people don't want the mess that comes before the miracle. You wouldn't need the miracle if you weren't in a mess. The mess is supposed to happen. You're supposed to go through the bullshit. Just like me, people see the 6-figure month, but you don't see me sleeping on an air mattress with a shirt over my pillow for 8 months prior to that. So what does that say? The mess becomes the miracle. And I think that's what we need to kind of unpack is for the people that are about to join digital real estate, dude, expect to get your teeth kicked in. Expect to go months without getting paid and expect to feel like you're driving yourself nuts. But on the other side of that, you're gonna get results, you're gonna win. What would you say was one of the biggest things that helped you this last year that is gonna help you make $1 million this year?
Moving out to Scottsdale, Arizona, getting closer to my mentors, and now I have 5 other wholesalers. Thanks to I did pay for coaching, but also just to get into those doors, the right rooms with other millionaire wholesalers. So boom, the network right there, your network is your net worth, right? If you hang out with 5 millionaires, it won't be long before you're one too. So that really helped me, having that network and going to their offices, seeing what they're doing so I could have a clear perspective on everything. And then too, putting myself in a super, super vulnerable situation that 90% of people wouldn't do. Before I was here in Scottsdale, Arizona, I was in Dallas, Texas, and I was running it up over there. I closed, 2 6-figure deals, bro. And, I was running it up and it was great. And my whole team was virtual, but I knew what I wanted. I know what I want in this life. And so I came here not only to be closer to my mentors, but to learn how to be a better leader. So when I moved in with my 2 acquisition managers, all that turbulence that was there, I'm super grateful for all of it because I know how I'm going to handle it, right? Maybe not in the moment, but I know how I'm going to perceive it. Everything is a lesson and an opportunity to grow. And so the biggest thing that helped me, or the biggest thing that happened in 2025 that's going to help me to make $1 million in 2026 was having those failures, living with my team and having to deal with, turbulence in a team setting, being around other successful teams. And then I really went ham 2025, but the results weren't as I expected it. But because of that, I know what not to do now, what to look out for. So the biggest thing that helped me in 2025 was just all the vulnerable situations that I put myself in, the risky situations that I put myself in, and then what I learned from them. So this year in 2026, dude, I just hired an executive assistant. I just hired another lead manager. I know how to hire people now. It was crazy. Hiring is a whole nother ball game.
Yeah, I feel like you kind of opened up my eyes to the whole SOPs, KPIs, tracking everything.
Right. Before I paid this mentor out here, I paid another guy $12,000. His name was Chandler Sane, and he's super big on business models and being an operator. And so, I showed you all that, right? Your business has to have an SOP. You have to do quarterly planning. You have to know what is expected of you to make what whatever goal you want to hit, and then what's expected of the other people in your team, and then how to manage that team, how to hire the right people, how to know if they're a good fit or if they're not a good fit. Here's just like one tip when you're hiring people that really helps is if it's not a hell yeah, it's a hell no. If you're on the board like, I don't know, maybe I could coach him up, teach him, like, no, dude. If it's not a hell yeah, I got to have that guy on my team, it's a hell no.
That's spitting game right now. What would you say was one of the biggest things that you had to overcome this last year? With the business, maybe personal?
Learning how to deal with the pressure of being a leader and how to actually be a leader, right? There's so many things that I learned because I never had a good leader in my life ever. Not a good, you know, shouts out to my dad, I love him, but, you know, I never had like a masculine role model in my life, or even an older brother or older cousin. Everybody in my family is always, they're either divorced or they have baby mamas or whatever. And so I never had a real leader. So coming out here to learn how to be a better leader was very challenging. There's so many nuances I learned about being a leader and how to take care of people and also keep the vision alive within the team. That's one of the biggest challenges. That's what I came out here for. If I didn't care about being a leader, you know, I just would have stayed in Dallas and maybe hired some more virtual people. But definitely being a leader, living with my acquisition managers, so there's no time off, right? There's times where we're not working, but it's like I'm always the leader 24/7, and their eyes are always on me. So they're looking at every single little thing that I do, and any little bit of weakness that they could sniff out, they're gonna test you, or they're gonna disrespect you, or they're gonna try you, or like Wes Watson says, your weaknesses are their excuses, right? Your weakness is their excuse. So learning how to not be weak, learning how to make decisions, and learning how to keep the vision alive in a team, that's some of the things that I learned from moving in with my acquisition managers.
Do you feel like it's better? Like I'm the virtual route. I like expanding on hiring killers, but that are overseas. I've got to see both models, right? Building an in-house team and building a virtual team. Both are scalable, but where do you fit as a leader? And for you guys watching, everybody that's watching here, you're the leader in your life. You're the main character in your life. Are you gonna be on the sidelines watching people on Instagram living their best life? Or are you gonna tie your shoes and get to work and jump into the better life that's waiting for you? And it's behind digital real estate. And even if it's not behind digital real estate, get around people that you can expand ideas around. We're always brainstorming. Ian and I are always brainstorming when we're together, and you just want to be around people that are talking about winning, talking about growth, talking about success, because if not, you're going to just kind of fall around the wayside with every other average person, and average isn't fun.
Hell no, I could never be average, ever. Actually, that was the first thing that I was so against in the beginning. When I came out of jail and I, went to move in and live with my mom or whatever, I could see that being average was a way of life in my family, in the household, and just my entire family. All they knew how to do was get divorced, have kids, and work a 9 to 5 and be a slave, but then act like it's all cool, act like they're not bothered. But really, they're living in quiet desperation. So yeah, I hate average. I had to hate being average, because if I was okay with average, then I'd still be in Louisiana, working a 9 to 5, just happy that I'm not in jail. That's not enough for me. That's not who I am. Yeah.
When did that moment click when you were like, damn, nobody's coming to save me and I have to make it out on my own?
I'd say there's 2 times. So the first time was when I decided to change my life around. I was in jail. I had just turned 24 in jail at the time, and I looked around and I saw everybody in my dorm. So when you're in jail, there's like a dorm, and there's like 50 men are in that dorm, and you all got to sleep together, whatever, bunk beds. And I was just looking, like, there was an 80-year-old dude there. There was like a 60-year-old dude there, 50, 40-year-old dude, literally from 18 to 80. All of those age groups were in that dorm. And I was listening to one dude, he was like 40 years old, and he was telling about why he's in jail. And he was saying stuff like about his baby mama, right? He had got like a domestic charge or whatever, but he was just talking about his baby mom, like, that bitch did this, that bitch did that, and you're just blaming it all on her. And that's when it kind of clicked. I was like, motherfucker, you're in jail, not your baby mama. And like, he couldn't take accountability. And then also I just noticed like the 18-year-old and then the 80-year-old, and they were both saying the same thing, not taking accountability. And it just clicked. I was like, dude, there's no limit to when you stop going to jail. Like, if you're a dumbass, you'll forever be in jail until you're 80. And that's when I was like, I gotta change. Like, I have to change. That's when it was like, flip it a switch. And so I just got on my knees, I prayed to God. I didn't even fully believe in Jesus Christ at the time. I just knew that there was a higher power, and I knew that there was some power in the Bible. So I just got on my knees and I said, God, I don't know if you're real, or I know you're real, but I swear I'm changing from here on out, right? And I was facing 3 years in state prison in another state. So as soon as I got done with that jail time, I was gonna get shipped off to prison in Mississippi.
Damn.
Yeah, but I just gave it all up to God, and I was like, God, if I have to go to Mississippi prison and face those 3 years, I know I'm not built for it. Like, at the time, that's what I was thinking, but I was just so open and honest with God. I was like, even if that is the case, I promise you I'm gonna be the best version of myself while I'm there. I promise I'm not gonna be the same person anymore. I'm not gonna smoke the mojo that they got going around the jail. I'm not gonna do any gambling or whatever. I'm gonna do my push-ups and I'm gonna read my Bible. That's where it started. So that was one moment. And then the other moment was, after I did the level up or whatever, 2 years later, I'm in Houston, right? So I drive out to Houston to go all in on Houston. And I had been in Houston. I locked myself in a room for 8 months straight. And I said, I'm not leaving this room until I make $100,000, which is actually crazy. And one time, it was Christmas. I didn't do anything for Christmas. I didn't do anything for New Year's. I think I did 1,000 push-ups for New Year's, like, by myself in that room. But like, right before Christmas, I had closed my first 5-figure deal, and I had met Eric Thomas already at that point. So I knew God had a calling for me. But I was like, you know what? Instead of doing anything for Christmas or getting drunk, I'm gonna go out to this salsa class. And and I didn't have a car at the time, which was a blessing in disguise. Right? I could have been bummed out that I didn't have a car, but it was really God's way of like having me stay put. Anyway, so I took an Uber to these salsa classes, which was like 25 minutes away. And on that Uber ride, I just looked out at the city of Houston while I was driving. We were on the interstate, and I was like, damn, I'm really in another state right now. I have no family out here.
That's how I felt last year, bro.
Yeah.
You're driving around and seeing
like,
desert.
There's no other feeling like it. It was like, I'll never forget that feeling. I was like, I'm out here by myself because I chose to be here. And there's no family out here. If something happens to me, nobody's gonna come because I'm way the fuck out here in Houston. And it was that moment. It was scary, but it was like empowering at the same time. I was like, bro, I could go wherever I want and I could do whatever I want. There's no limit. I could leave the country if I wanted to. That's when it kind of hit me like, nobody's coming to save me. Those two moments specifically.
It's so crazy that all of that's possible, especially today, with a cell phone and a laptop.
Yep.
And you just need some Wi-Fi and a crazy amount of belief in yourself. And I keep repeating that. It's because this last year, I moved across the country. Same thing, no family, got through a crazy breakup, lost my solar teams, went a year without barely making any income. And then the year prior, I had made like 400 grand in solar. And I thought I was like a failure. I was like, damn, I just moved over here, was losing money, pumping money into different marketing channels that I didn't see a return on. And I was sitting in my room one time, I'm like, damn, don't have any friends here, don't have any family here. Like, how am I gonna make it out? I don't even understand wholesale. But putting myself in the rooms with guys like Isaiah, his partner Ian, one of my business partner, Parth, like just getting around our mentors that we've had, it just opens up your mind to the possibility. That's all you guys need, is get around people that give you a little hint of the possibility that you might be able to achieve. And then your life changes, bro. Your life changes. And it's like what I was saying earlier, ebbs and flows. You're gonna be the king of the mountain one day, but then there's gonna be a downfall waiting for you to happen.
That's right.
Vice versa. When you're at your lowest, like Isaiah's saying, in jail, sitting around a bunch of people that aren't taking accountability for their actions and just talking loser talk, it kind of sparked a fire in him. He's like, dude, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
And a lot of you people watching, cut the losers in your life, bro. If you don't have people around you that are chasing greatness, chasing God, chasing getting money, chasing becoming the best version of themselves, getting in the best shape of their life, bro, cut them off.
Yeah, I had to stop being a loser myself first. That's right. Then you got to cut the people off, but make a decision to stop being a fucking loser, because when in that moment in jail, when I realized that none of them are taking accountability, I was like, that's what I do. I looked at him, I was like, damn, I talk the same way. So that's when I had to make a decision. I'm not going to be a fucking victim anymore. I'm going to be a victor, right? I'm going to go from victim mentality to victory mentality. And on your way from going from a victim on to victory, you're still going to feel like a fucking loser. You're going to seem like a loser. You're going to look like a loser. It's a process. Once I got out of jail, it wasn't 2.5 years later that I actually decided to move to Houston. And even when I moved to Houston, I was still broke. I only had like $2,500 in my pocket and 5 months rent paid. So I was like, the $2,500 is gonna allow me to get food and live. And then the 5 months rent, I had that much time to make it happen. So yeah, you gotta identify the loser inside of you first and cut that off first. And then you're gonna cut off your other friends, and that's only gonna make you feel like more of a loser, because all the people that you're so used to hanging out with and you're so comfortable with, they're gonna be like, what the fuck is your problem? They're like, oh, you're too good for us now? Or like, why are you being weird? So it's a struggle in the beginning, but if you understand that it's a process, one of the biggest things that I'm very grateful for, a mindset that I had in the beginning, was I always thought like I was 30. Like when I was 25, I just got out of jail. I wanted to think, I always thought like, where do I want to be at when I'm 30? And so it never bothered me when people didn't fuck with me in the present, because I was like, yeah, you don't know where I'm going to be at in 5 years. You have no idea. So I walked around with that delusional confidence. Like, do you know who you're talking to? I really did walk around, you know, how Conor McGregor walks like with a strut. Like that's how I was feeling like every day, even though I was still broke, still living with my mom, no car, like I still walked around with that delusional confidence because I could see the future so clearly. I was like, I know where I'm going to be at. I'm not even 30 yet, bro. So, yeah.
Hell yeah. And it's kind of like what Isaiah's saying. You kind of have to paint the image in your mind. I remember I used to drive my broken down Hyundai, and I remember I had just got broken up with. Girlfriend left me of like 4 years. I was on my way home from my apartment to my mom's house. Car breaks down in the middle of the street. I have to push. I had just gotten broken up with. Then I have to push my car. And I was like, dude, I feel like such a, not a bum, but I felt like a
loser,
mental bum.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, dude, I just got dumped. Car's breaking down. Like, what is going on? Just lost a solar team of 8 guys. And I was like, wow, this is like the lowest I felt. And maybe a lot of you guys are going through something way worse, but it's all relative. And the other side of the coin is you have to start painting the image in your mind. I started envisioning me pushing my Corvette, imagining that the Corvette had broken down. I used to open up my Hyundai door, imagine that it was me jumping into the Corvette. And then 6 months later, after broken down cars, went balls to the wall in solar, then you go buy the dream car that you want. And then what happens after that? 6 months after that, I moved to a different state, not making any money, thinking to myself, dude, what is wrong with me? I just got off my biggest year in solar, just bought my dream car, now I'm not making any money. Is there something wrong with me? But no, it's part of the game. You're gonna feel like the king of the mountain, and you're gonna get your teeth kicked in right after. But that's the beauty of it, right? Because when you talk to your boys and you reflect, that's what was supposed to happen. That's what kind of builds you. If you don't have any scars, you don't have any stories.
Right. It's moments like that that make you a man. Getting your heart broken, and then losing your job or your team, and then having your car break down at the side of the highway, all simultaneously.
All simultaneously.
Those are the moments that make you into a great leader and a great man. Facts. Because if you didn't go through that, you know, what you got to talk about?
You're just like every other guy, with chilling at home with your girl, watching Love Island. For all my gentlemen out there, if you're watching Love Island with your girl and you're not making 6 figures a month, cut that shit out, bro. You don't need that in your life, I promise you.
That's right, dude. I wouldn't be where I'm at if, so when I was in jail that last time, my girlfriend of 3 years had broke up with me and got together with my childhood best friend. So they're outside, while I'm in jail, soaking in shame, regret, guilt, all that. My girlfriend of 3 years is dating my best friend, and they're saying they love each other, posting all kind of stories on Instagram. But bro, if that never happened to me, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So in the moment, trust me, I felt like it. In the moment, it feels like the world is done. Your life is over. This is it. How am I gonna get back from this?
No cap.
Bro, you really, real deal feel like that. Like, this is it. This is what my destiny is. But the beauty is that, life goes on. The sun is still gonna rise tomorrow. And it's on you to respond in a way that encourages growth and causes you to grow. So yeah, even though that happened, that was the fuel and ammunition that I needed to level the fuck up and get the fuck out of Louisiana. If it wasn't for that, dude, I'd probably still be in Louisiana.
I saw a quote the other day, and it said, men live 2 lives in their life. When they're comfortable and when they realize that nobody's coming to save them, and if they don't get themselves out of their situation, you're screwed forever. You become just another cog in the wheel. And maybe for some of you watching, maybe there's no problem with that, but just realize there's a version and a level of you that is 20 times better than what you currently are. And if you just kind of realize that and envision a bigger and better life, you might just get there. You might just get there. I remember watching people on YouTube that I'm like, dang, I wish I could be around that person. I just wish I could be in a room with them. And then when the opportunity comes and you write the check, I remember I was hesitant. My first coach that I ever invested in, Taylor McCarthy, one of the best door-to-door people, he makes like $4 million a year knocking doors in solar. I paid him 20 racks. And I remember I was shaking when I was typing it on my phone, sending the wire. But I'm like, dude, how do I expect to make millions of dollars? How do I expect to make 20 million if I'm scared to invest 20K into something that's gonna open up way bigger doors? Same thing over here. Invested into a coach, paid him 16K. Then I'm in an industry where I don't know anything about it, not making any money. And it kind of starts to make you think, it's like, okay, is there something wrong with me? But no, you're supposed to go through the fire. Some of you guys see the fire right now in the video. You're supposed to jump through the fire. And on the other side of the fire is paradise.
A lot of y'all are scared to invest $1,000 fucking. And I know what that feels like because I've been there before. But if you never know what it feels like to invest in yourself, or if you never take that first step to invest in yourself, you're gonna be fucked, right? I paid for the dropshipping course, and then I paid for the wholesaling course when I first started. Bro, I know a lot of people, because I have a lot of consultation calls with, potential students or whatever, and they tell me their situation, they tell me why, the bills need to be paid, they have kids, the rent is due, all this other stuff, and they only have like $1,000 left to their name or $2,000 to their name. And they don't invest it. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, dude, take the first step. Because yeah, in reality, it might work, it might not, but you still took a step. You put a vote of confidence towards the person that you're trying to become. But if you say no, that's one more vote towards the bum that you already are, or the bum that you're trying to not be, right? Like, I smoked cigarettes for like fucking 11 years, bro. And there were plenty of times where I just threw out a whole pack of cigarettes out the car. Even though I know I was still addicted and I know I was gonna smoke again, I knew the value in giving yourself that vote of confidence, one vote at a time, every single day, and eventually it compounds. Start voting for your higher self. Every time that you go on a consultation call or whatever, you're thinking about taking that leap of faith, and you don't, you're just putting one more vote into the bucket of the loser version of you, right? Like, there is no waiting till you're ready. It's a myth. You're never ready. You think I was ready? No, dude. It's like you either do or die. And I pray that you guys don't have to go through what I went through and hit rock bottom for you to finally make that decision and that first step towards your higher self. But yeah, some of y'all are in a very fucked up situation, whether it's with kids, baby mama drama, rent, bills, living with your mom, and you have $1,000 or $500 or $2,000, and that's all you have to your name is that little measly $1,000. And I know, I'm not saying this like I've never been broke before, right?
You're talking to your younger self right now.
I know what it feels like to save up for 3, 4, 5 months and only save up $1,000. And I know how heavy it feels to give that to somebody else because whatever, they're selling you a dream or whatever. But you're not giving it to them. Whoever you're paying as a coach or a course or a mentor or pay to go to an event, you're not paying them. You're paying yourself, your higher self. You're giving that higher self because 9.9 times out of 10, the people who got off the consultation call and chose not to invest in themselves, I guarantee you for a fact that $1,000 got spent on some bullshit that never
100%.
paid them back. So think about it like that. Where do you want to be at 5 years from now? Always think ahead of time, because that way it's never about, well, if I pay him, then I'm going to be broke. Then I'm not going to have money to pay my rent or blah, 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 blah.
What if it works?
Yeah, what if it works? What if, bro, all y'all are like, not all y'all, but a lot of people are stuck so much in the present or in the past. Maybe they've been burned in the past before. And you know, I get it, it feels scary, it feels risky, but a millionaire, 10 times out of 10 would rather be in debt with the skills to make $1 million versus, you know, having their $1,000 and no skill to make money. You know, keep your little $1,000, bro, right? And I don't charge $1,000, by the way. I charge 5 bands, but still, like, it's on you. I'm not gonna save you. Lewis isn't gonna save you. Any coach.
Your parents aren't gonna save you.
Nobody's gonna save you. So it's on you to give your higher self that money and say, I believe in my higher self. I'm gonna give you this, right? It may or may not work out, but I'm voting for you, my higher self. I'm not gonna go back or vote for my loser self, right? Because what happens if you keep your little $1,000, you got your little $1,000, or you got your little $500, or me, my first course was $350. That was all I had. Like, what am I gonna do? Just be a bum with 350 bucks? No, I gave it to my higher self because that first course scammed me. That first dude that I paid to teach me about wholesale real estate, he fucking scammed me. But if I never took that leap of faith, bro, I wouldn't be where I'm at.
Bro, you hit it on the money. When I spent the money to jump into a new industry that ended up not panning out at the time I wanted, I realized it panned out a year later. Me not losing the money, me investing the money, ended up opening up a door a whole year later with a different partner that made me the money back. Investing the 16 grand actually made me 100 grand this last December through a relationship that I met because of the 16 grand. So I remember when I was in my little crappy apartment here in Arizona, inviting people over to my house, the only furniture I had was my air mattress and a 30-inch TV. And people would come to my house and be like, is this it? Like, and I used to be like, damn, like I just came back from living in a downtown crazy, damn near penthouse in Orlando. And then you go a whole year sleeping on an air mattress. And then you realize that's what was supposed to happen to unlock a new level. I had never done 100K in a month before. But if I didn't go through the bullshit, I wouldn't have seen the 100K month. And I always say this to the younger people that I talk to is there's always two sides to the coin. What you have to ask yourself is, one side of the coin is I keep my money, I don't invest, and things stay the same. The other side of the coin is that money might lead me to a whole different life that I would have never seen before if I didn't invest a couple $100, couple $1,000. It always compounds. The vote that Isaiah's talking about, you're voting, you're pretty much casting a vote to the universe saying, hey, I want a bigger and better life.
Yep.
Please bring it back to me. And it always does.
Yep.
Whether it's God, whether it's the universe, whatever it is, it always comes back. It's just never at the time that you want it to come back.
Exactly. Right? Because if I got $1 million, what if it worked out in drop shipping? I'd probably be dead. I was not the person that I needed to be who could handle 100 grand in a single day. right? When I made that $100,000, that first $100,000 check, I made it in a single day. I was ready. I had worked for it. Yeah, bro, that's so true. That's so true.
But the whole point is, bro, get your teeth kicked in, go through the mud, because on the other side of the mud is the paradise that you're looking for. And then after you go to the paradise, there's another storm coming.
Yep.
And it's got your name written all over it. It's just a bigger and bigger beast that you have to face. But the bigger monsters that you face, and if you defeat that monster, the bigger the reward. Sometimes you might not beat the monster. Sometimes the monster beats you, and you got to pick yourself back up and say, I'm going to go fight the monster again. That's the whole point of the game. Because, bro, what happens if life goes on, 60-year-old self, imagine 60-year-old self is looking at you right now. What if you don't achieve what you wish you achieved, bro? Do you want to be 60 and look back and be like, damn, I lived in the best age of time? Cell phones, the technology in our phone right now and the camera that you're watching this actually has more technology than the first rocket ever launched into space. Like, think about that. The first rocket ever launched into space, this cell phone has more advanced technology than the first rocket ever launched into space. What I take out of that message is, dude, this thing can take me to the mother effing universe if I let it. Or if you let it consume you, you're just gonna keep being where you are.
Oh yeah, that's right. Be a producer, not a consumer.
And you help me unpack that too, bro, because you go so hard on social media and it's inspiring. You inspire me.
I appreciate that. I just do my best. I find that a lot of people come up to me and they say, like, bro, you inspired me, or, you know, how do you do it, or whatever. And posting on social media, it's the same as any other business. It just compounds over time. But you're always going to be cringe. You're always going to think you're cringe, bro. To this day, I post videos and I'm like, oh, why did I look like that? Or what's wrong with my hair? Or like, why do I talk like that? Why do I sound like that? Or why did I use those words? Or I'll just post anyways. It doesn't, like, take that leap of faith, bro. It's the same as like paying $1,000, but yeah, with a video, you're risking being cringe to people who
don't care about you.
Don't even care. They're gonna forget about it in 2-3 days from now.
Yeah.
And this is your life. At the end of the day, in 100 years or in 1,000 years, everyone you know, including you, is gonna be dead. So it's like, you might as well live it up for yourself, right? So to this day, bro, I still, you know, it's hard to push the post button. But the biggest thing I learned is to just post it anyways. Because I go on social media, I see the cringiest things, bro. People will do the stupidest things for fame. They will, like, the funny videos, like, people dress up as girls, like guys will dress up as girls, and, you know, they'll make videos or whatever thinking that it's funny. And sure, maybe it is, but it's like, dude, I'm not that cringe, you know?
Yeah.
But you're always gonna be cringe to somebody, but screw what anybody thinks, dude. You're doing it for you. Yeah, social media is just about being consistent and making sure that you're actually giving value. I appreciate that, though. Yeah, I just post every day. That's really it.
And if not you, then who, bro? Like, I slept in a bunk bed with my little brother till I was 17 years old. I remember bringing friends to my house and like, oh, it's a sleepover, but you got to sleep on the floor. I'm going to set up some blankets because I got a bunk bed. My brother's up top. But the whole time I'm thinking, dude, if I don't get us out of this situation, who is? I grew up with a little brother and a single mom. Like, nobody was coming to save us. Nobody. It's got to be you. You got to be the superhero in your life. Instead of you gambling, betting on another man to score some bullshit-ass touchdown, bro, bet on you. Gamble on you. You are the gamble. You're either going to take this shit to the top or you're not, but it's worth the risk. It's always worth the risk. And roll the dice, bro. Your little siblings are looking up to you, hoping that someone comes and saves them. And it's got to be you, because nobody else is going to do it.
That's right. That was the biggest kind of mental model that helped me, is that I was watching some millionaire on YouTube. I forgot his name. He was in the military before, whatever, but I was watching a video. He was telling his story, and he was like, the greatest decision I made was betting on myself, right? Like, what decision beats that, bro? Like, yeah, you might not trust yourself now, but like I said, casting a vote towards your higher self. The best decision I ever made was betting on myself. Some of y'all are scared to bet on yourselves, and I get it, because you don't trust yourself, because you don't have a good track record of having wins. But yeah, betting on yourself is the best thing that you could ever do, because then all the power of the gamble, right? The bet, the odds, the risk, it's all in your hands. That might seem scary, but that's the best thing you could do. What are you going to do? Go to a casino and let the casino gamble it? Like the house wins every single time, bro. I see a lot of people who would rather pay $1,000 or go to the casino and spend $1,000, or they have like these scammers that, I don't know if they still do it, like the Cash App scam. It's like, you send me $1,000 and I add a zero to it and you'll get 10,000. It's like, dude, some people would rather do that than to just bet on themselves. Stop betting on a scam. Stop betting on the casino. Stop betting on other people. Stop betting on your job to come and save you or to make you rich. Nobody's going to do it. It's all up to you. So the best bet that you could ever make is on yourself.
And it all boils down to time and energy. The time is gonna pass anyway. You're gonna spend the energy anyway. You either spend it watching TV, hanging out with your friends, watching sports, whatever it is, but use that time, use that energy into something productive, bro. Get around guys like Isaiah. Get around guys like his team. Get around guys like me and the people in the digital real estate community. But bro, I wanted to chop it up with you. I've been waiting to do this podcast.
We're gonna do it again.
For sure. What are some final thoughts for the students, maybe some of the mentees that are going to come out of this for you? What do you have to tell them? If you were talking to 15-year-old Isaiah, what would you say?
15-year-old Isaiah, okay. Or new students, younger me or new students, I would say you have to live by the mental model. This has always helped me, of do something so much over a long enough period of time to where it's unreasonable for you to not hit your goals. So, you know, students come to me and I tell them, I guarantee you, promise that you can make $20,000 in 90 days or less, right? And any student who stayed with me and actually been through that process, it never took them 90 days. You could make the money in 90 days or less. All you have to do is do the mundane work over and over and over and over and over again, past it feeling like it's not working. Because on day 14, you're gonna feel like, I'm getting nowhere. Well, yeah, you only been doing it for 14 fucking days. On day 30, you might have a little bit of traction, but not really. No money's been made. And you're gonna constantly come across these times where you feel like this isn't worth it, or this is pointless, or this is never gonna work. But if you could just quiet that shit down and use logic and know that it's impossible for me to not hit my goal if I do this amount of work over this amount of time. That's it. If you keep, like with anything, you know, ping pong shots, the people who do cool ping pong shots, you don't know how many times it takes them to finally make that shot. But they know, because they have proof of concept, and they understand that if they stay there and they keep doing it and they keep changing it just a little bit, the way they throw the ping pong ball or whatever, eventually it's going to go in. Eventually you're going to hit the goal. And if you show up every single day, because everybody has a lucky day, how do you not miss the lucky day? You just show up every day, period. Like, I made $100,000 in a single day because I obsessed over it, and I never missed a day. Nobody was going to take it from me. You can force your success. You can force success in your life, but you have to be willing to show up every day and do a certain amount of work every single day. And an extra bonus tip for people who are in wholesale real estate, and you want to know that you're going to get your first wholesale deal in 90 days or less, all you got to do is talk to 20 different people every single day and make 3 cash offers every single day. Literally, that's it. If you do those 2 things, make 3 offers and talk to 20 different people every single day, it is impossible for you to not get a wholesale deal in 90 days. The reason most of you don't do it is because, like I said, on day 14 and day 30, it seems like an eternity to you, and you're gonna have these thoughts of like, what's the point? But if you just do it consistently every single day, I promise you from the bottom of my heart, it will happen. If I could do it, coming out of jail, drug addiction, living with my mom, broken home, anybody could do it. If I could do it, anybody could do it.
100%. And I'll end with this. Assume you're gonna strike out 99.9% of the time, but you just need 1 home run, bro. You just need one home run, and the home run is guaranteed if you bat every day.
Yep.
But just assume that you're going to strike out every day until the home run comes. But know the home run is guaranteed. It's already set for you. But the only problem is maybe you're just not batting enough. You got to get in the batting cage. You got to get in the game. Get off your butt. Get in the game, bro. A whole different life is waiting for you. But dog,
Facts.
I appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
Digital real estate fam, stay tuned for the next one.
Stay tuned.